All right, welcome back to episode number 8, Docs Podcast. I'm Doc Smith.
9, you dirtbag.
Okay, 9. I don't forget what episode we were on.
I know it's difficult to fucking West Virginians to count. I know how hard it is. Especially Michigan fans.
But something different. I think, like when we first started the podcast, we talked about discussing sports, but then we had some other things we were going to talk about, like entertainment wise too. So it's not just sports because they can be monotonous. So this week we're going to do our top 10s. We're going to do top 10 sports movies and then top 10 Christmas movies. So we'll start with the sports movies. What y'all got? And I'll go with mine last.
I got mine in some sort of, numerical order. And all right, so number 10 for me is kind of like, this is sneaky, like, could probably get above some of these other ones, but these other ones that I got listed are pretty close. How about I'll do my 10 through 6 and I'll let you guys go. But all right, so number 10, Creed. And I think Creed is going to turn into a very good Rocky series if they can manage to keep it going. Number 9 for me, Days of Thunder. Tom Cruise, one of the best NASCAR movies out there. I know that what's not on this list, it's still one of my favorites, Talladega Nights, but it's not in my top 10. Number 8, A League of Their Own. I mean, a good baseball movie. I'm a baseball fan, so there's quite a few of those on there. Number 7 for me, and I still think it's probably one of the best basketball movies out there, Above the Rim. And then number 6, is that where I was at? 6, The Mighty Ducks, the first one of the better hockey movies out there. So there's a couple, all different sports in my top 10 that round out that bottom 5. But
yep. What do you got, Travis? What's your 10 through 6?
So my 10 through 6, well, actually I don't have no order, so I'll just give you the 4. So I got Rudy. I like Rudy a lot. That would be probably my number 10, I guess. Number 9, I guess I have Field of Dreams. Right? Real good. I obviously love baseball. I thought this one should be up there too. I probably would put it higher, but I have it at 8. Remember the Titans?
Well, that's a good one.
So that's a good one. And then I guess what would that put me at? 7? 42. Huge Jackie Robinson fan, right? So Dodgers, obviously. So that's the connection there. And then my all-time favorite, I'll skip right to 1, is Sandlot. That's my all-time favorite. I like Sandlot.
I think Brad would play Smalls perfectly.
Yeah, so there's just so many one-liners, right? And then
Smalls in this group is definitely Brad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
So my 10 through 6, number 10, I have Remember the Titans, a classic. Number 9, I have A League of Their Own. And then number 8, The Greatest Game Ever Played. It's such a good movie. I love that movie. And then number 7, Bull Durham.
Wow, that's low.
I had that at first. I took it off. I had it.
It's just, you'll see my top 5 and you'll kind of see why. And then number 6, I have The Replacements.
Okay.
Really? With
I didn't have
Keanu
The
Reeves?
Replacements on there.
Yes, that's such a great movie. I can watch that, anytime it comes on, I try to watch it.
You think that's okay? Well, let's keep going. I was about to say because I'm sure our top 5 will be very similar here.
So what do you have for your top 5?
Am I going first for top 5?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number 5 for me, The Sandlot. It's still one of the best baseball movies out there.
Agree?
Yep.
You know what? I tell you what. My top 5 movies, except for one, are all baseball.
All baseball. I knew that. I knew
Number 4 for me is Field of Dreams, and I think there's more to it. Like the whole the guy gets the whole father atmosphere part of it. My dad plays a big part of my life, and I think that's why I love that movie and attach myself to it.
Yep.
Number 3, Bull Durham. I grew up in North Carolina. I've seen the Durham Bulls play, so it's one of I love that movie. Now, number 2 and 1 for me I can flip flop these. It depends on the day and how you're asking me what time of the year it is. But number 2, I have Rocky, and you could almost put that as a series. But the first Rocky is still one of my favorite all time sports movies. But number 1, hey, yo, bartender, yo, need a refill.
Yep.
You put
Good
Snout
list.
on the ball. Major League,
Yep.
one of my all-time favorite baseball movies and all-time sports movies for sure. And I
What'd you
probably
get
get
for-
roasted for some of these. I've left off some really good ones, but putting sports
But it's
movies.
hard to. I mean, there's some important movies.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't dumb enough to put the replacements in, my top 10.
in your top 10. All right. So let's see. So where are we starting? 5? Because we did what 10, 6, so 5. So 5 for me would be I got Creed. I agree with Watson. It's going to be a lot like the Rocky. So that's 5. 4. I got Blindside. Remember
That was
Blindside
so
with
good. Yes.
that was good. I thought that was kind of a sneak up on you one. You
Bullet crushed
forgot
that
about it, but
man.
I think it was Sandra Bullock, and they were just amazing in that. So I got that. 3, 2, and 1 are. I think you can interchange them, kind of like you. So I have number 3, Space Jam, because even though I know it's Jordan and not say Kobe or Laker, but it's still Jordan. I just thought Space Jam,
Classic.
the original, the remake was trash. And then number 2, I have Rocky.
Yep.
That's my number 2. And then all-time favorite, I mean, it's hard. I got Moneyball as my number 1.
Okay.
Because I thought with how much went into that, and
Right.
it's
It's a very good movie too.
my favorite sport. So
Yep.
so that's what I went with.
There's a movie that kind of goes along the lines with Moneyball would be Trouble with the Curve. I think
Yep.
kind of
That's what I was thinking
very
too.
similar style movies. And
Yep.
I absolutely loved Clint Eastwood in that movie, and I mean that movie entirely. It to me it was, you could almost say that it was in the same universe as what Moneyball was.
You're right.
I agree.
Except for it was the Atlanta Braves instead of the Oakland Athletics. I felt
Well,
like the whole, the scenery and everything part of that baseball movie reminded me a lot of Moneyball, but it was,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
And Justin Timberlake did a good job in that movie too.
Yeah, he did.
Which one?
Trouble with the Curve.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's not a bad actor. All right, so my top 5. Number 5, I got The Sandlot, of course. Number 4, Rocky,
Mm-hmm.
of course. Number 3, Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Number 2 is Major League. And then my all-time favorite movie that you guys didn't have on your list was Warrior.
Warrior. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
is that the UFC one?
yeah. The one that's got Kurt Angle in it, and then what's his name? God dang it, he played Bane.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tom Hardy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good. I don't know if I'd have that as my number 1, but
I
that's
love
a
that
good
movie.
that
Anytime
movie
it's on, like it's like I don't know, it just gets me because it's like the brothers, they're fighting one another and like just the whole dynamic of the relationship. And the one part I love because Tom Hardy was in the military, he's a Marine, former Marine, and got discharged. And the part that the beach scene I love because he's like telling his brother, I don't know you. You're not my brother. Did you ever serve? Like that's my favorite freaking.
He's like, you were a Marine? He goes, no, I wasn't a Marine. You ain't no brother of mine.
Right. Like that's.
I thought there's similarities.
Actually, I did that scene on TikTok. I did that scene.
Did
I don't know if
you?
you saw that. Yeah, I'll have to send it to you, Brad.
I think there's similarities in Warrior and the new Creed, don't you think?
Yeah. Which I could have put Creed on there, but I was like, I was on the road of it because those are really good films. I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming
Creed
out.
looks good, yeah.
Yeah, the new Creed where the dude gets locked up for 20 years. Remember?
I tell you what, though, I told my wife when Creed 2 came out that she wasn't allowed to go with me to go see it because, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen any of the Creed movies, Rocky was sick. And if Rocky was gonna fucking die, I wasn't gonna be that grown ass man crying in a theater with his wife sitting next to him going, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I was gonna do that shit by myself because there are very few characters, in the movie cinema, universes that will get to me as far as like, certain actors, when it's their time, I'll probably shed a tear or two. But man, Rocky, when that character, when he eventually, they may not even do it. They may not do that at all. But like if Rocky were to die in the movies, I would probably be a a mess. I would just be a mess. And then,
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that Sylvester
Indiana
Stallone's not
Jones?
part of the future ones.
well, I mean, he's got to let him grow on his own. You know, and
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is another character that I think that once, hopefully, Indy 5 will be the last one where he rides off into the sunset and he's just went like the last Rambo. Nobody wants to see Rambo die. He rode
Yeah.
off into the sunset and did his thing, you know, like so.
Right.
But the other one was Han Solo. You know, those three characters right there that would, you know, destroy me. So
Yep. Agreed. All right, so we can go to our. I was able to come up with a top 10. Hopefully, y'all got a top 10 because apparently y'all.
yeah, I had to fucking shit this one out. I mean, I was pulling stuff out of my ass all night.
So I'll start it off because I, actually have a, I guess, halfway decent list of, Christmas
Yeah.
film.
You
I
just
tell,
give
I
us
tell
a
you, what, I
list.
think my top 5 is legit. It's a legit top 5.
So 10, I'll do 10 through 6 since that's what we did on the sports one. So number 10 was The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mhm.
Number 9 was Bad Santa. Number 8, Jingle All the Way. Number 7, Christmas with the Cranks. And then number 6, The Grinch. That's mine.
Now,
Yeah.
would you really consider Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie, or is that a Christmas fucking movie?
I think it's
I don't
more
know, I
Halloween.
guess-
It's probably one of
I don't know,
both at the same time.
Yeah,
In Halloween.
it's all about destroying Christmas.
It's all the same.
It's the same shit.
All right, I did come up with 10 as I don't know how, but all right. So my top 10, I actually had Nightmare Before Christmas on there because I wasn't sure if it was a damn Christmas movie or if it's considered a Halloween movie. All I know is that when Halloween comes around, that's when that movie starts playing through fucking the new year. So number 9, Polar Express. I still think it's probably one of my favorite Christmas books. I remember, that was one of the few Christmas stories I remember my old man reading me. The Grinch, I'll put it number 8. The cartoon one. I still think the cartoon beats Jim Carrey's every day. And then number 7, I'm gonna go old school. Charlie Brown Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can, any of the Charlie Brown movies, you really can't go wrong with those. So
Nope.
I mean, it's one of those like it's just Charlie Brown. How can you be angry about Charlie Brown? And then number 6, Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'll put that at number 6.
Yep, and I don't have a list because I'm the Grinch. So there's mine.
Your whole
That's my-
list?
No, I'm just joking. So my favorite is probably the Grinch, but I like Nightmare Before Christmas, but I do consider that more Halloween, right? So that would be 10. Number 9, I'll go Elf. 8, I like Polar Express only because of the kid. I like that whole story.
Yep.
The original, not this remake shit you see on Netflix, but the original.
I saw there's some guy, we were talking about TikTok earlier, but that Polar Express, there's a guy that was on TikTok, and I know they do a Polar Express ride here in Chicago, but he had the ticket and the hole puncher thing, and he was doing it all real quick, and he started slow and then real fast, and he opened it up, and it was a fucking reindeer on your ticket. Like that shit's kind of cool, man.
That's pretty cool. That's the one in Chicago there, over by the zoo? The one by the zoo, right?
No. This one is downtown.
Oh, okay, because there's I know there's a Polar Express over by the zoo, Lincoln Park. Took the kids to that years ago.
Maybe that is the one. I don't know. I know there is one downtown.
Yeah, because it's like I don't remember exactly where it's at, but all right. Well, yeah, that was mine. That was it. 10. What was that? 10 through 6, right? So
Yeah, that's 10 through 6. And then, so 5 through 1. Number 5, I got Die Hard. And it's considered a Christmas movie because
that's
day.
I'm not even surprised
wait,
with some replacements.
that definitely deserves top 5.
And he's probably got number 1. So
Yeah.
number 4, Elf. Number 3,
Such a
The Santa
garbage.
Claus.
Will Ferrell is so overrated.
Oh.
Yeah, the only movies that I like that he was in are Talladega
Talladega.
Nights and Step Brothers. Step Brothers, I still think is one of the
Talladega-
greatest comedies.
Talladega was the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, to me, comedies. Dumb and Dumber, and then freaking Step Brothers.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with either of those two.
Step
But
Brothers.
Will Ferrell is better in a supporting role or God, I hated that movie Elf. I thought it was garbage. And my youngest loved it. She can't stop watching it.
The show, He's no Jim Carrey, that's for sure.
Oh, number 3, I got the Santa Claus. Number 2, Christmas Vacation. And then my top movie is Home Alone.
Yep.
I'll watch that all the time whenever it comes on. Watch it tonight.
1, 2, and 3. All of them. Don't matter.
All right, I'll jump in there. So my number 5, and this is the claymation one, is Rudolph.
Okay.
I just did a TikTok the other day talking about how we're just like movies, Christmas movies in general. Or any movies for that matter. It's instantaneous. You can watch any movie you want at any time with so many different streaming services or ways to download it, or even if it's some crazy way to watch it. There's so many backdoor ways to watch movies. But do you remember when we have to look in the TV guide or in the newspaper to find out what time and what day of the week certain Christmas movies were playing?
Yeah.
You had to race there. Everybody had their spot, eating popcorn, mom and dad sitting there, trying to get the channel on CBS. CBS always had like Frosty and freaking Rudolph. And the only time you got up is during commercials. They made it even worse. Yeah. You only had one bathroom and everybody was trying to do it at the same, commercial. But I don't know. That shit reminds you, the kids today they don't get to do that type of stuff. They'll never understand it.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 4 for me. Home Alone 2 is number 4.
Okay.
Lost in New York, and then number 3 is the first Home Alone. Number 2, Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 1, Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Die Hard. Welcome to the party, pal.
Yay.
Oh.
All right. So
Travis, what's your top 5?
5, I'll go Santa Claus, because I do like that one. 4, we'll do Bad Santa, because that was funny. So you got to have one comedy one. 3, I'll do Home Alone 2. 2, Home Alone 1. And then 1, Die Hard. That's my all-time favorite, for sure.
Good list.
So,
those are great. So I kind of wanted, the other thing I wanted to do, because we only did like a 17-minute podcast so far. So I figured maybe we'd do it a little bit longer. I know we didn't kind of, text about it or what we were going to discuss besides, our top 10s. But I think the one thing that's important to talk about today, which I always wear, like several times on this podcast, I've wore this shirt, the Let's Talk, for PTSD and awareness and everything. All 3 of us have PTSD. All 3 of us have spent time in Iraq. I think this time of the year it's important, to start thinking about, because it's Christmas time. This is the worst time of the year for me because I hate winter. I hate dealing with the winter, the time changes and all that. I hate it. It's like the worst, time for me. But the guy Twitch, he died yesterday, which I didn't just knew him from Ellen or whatever, but it got me to thinking, about talking about the, bringing more awareness to mental health. I don't think it gets talked about enough, especially I think it's a huge stigma out there with men, discussing, when it comes to mental health, we're not supposed to discuss our feelings or, we're supposed to kind of suppress it and, whatever, act like a man is or toughen up or whatever. And I think that's just bull crap because it doesn't make you weak to talk about it or anything. So for me, like that's what I said, I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit just because I think it's very important and we got a little bit of time on this podcast to maybe discuss it and everything. I know, a lot of people, whether you're going through something, just, talk to anybody, your friends, family, give somebody a call, just let people know that they're important to you so they know that as a reminder. You guys, people I served with in the military, I'm not really close with my family too much. So, that's my family right there is people I served with in the military, close with my parents, but my siblings, we don't really talk all that much. So you guys are my brothers and, I love y'all. And if, you ever need anything from me, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you need to talk or whatever, I'm there. If you need me to come up to Illinois or whatever, I'll freaking hop in my truck and drive 12 hours. I don't give a shit,
Yeah, that means a lot. Like it is, I went back and forth on this. I actually debated making a TikTok on it because I've seen so many people talking about it in the last 24 to 48 hours. And I think it's just, part of me is I'm really sad for his family. From what I've seen and what I've read, and is that the guy was happy. He, like, within hours of posting a TikTok with his wife smiling, he went and checked into a hotel and, decided that living was not a choice that he wanted to do anymore. It's just, you never know what somebody's going through and what they're doing in their life. And I pray for his family, and hopefully they get past this. But a part of me was angry because it shouldn't take a celebrity to be starting to talk about this. I know there's a lot of veterans and organizations out there that they like to talk about it. And on the other side of it, they like to take advantage of, us veterans and in that category. And we have to just remember that there's people out there that will never understand what we went through. And, whether it's, just that whole stereotype of being a man and not being able to talk about our feelings. I don't think that stigma is ever going to go away. And for those who don't understand, that's okay. They don't ever have to understand, but they can listen. You can go up to a stranger and sitting on a park bench, just be like, I need to talk and vent it out. Who cares if they're listening or not? Write it down. Sending in an email to somebody. Put your feelings on a piece of paper or on an, even electronic piece of paper for that matter. Get them out so you're not sitting there frustrating and, all getting in your head, because then it just gets in your way. We have to be there for each other. And I struggle with, depression and anxiety and my PTSD, but, this is a hard time of year for a lot of people, including myself and you. We all deal with it in different ways, but, depression for me in the last year and a half has been really hard. I've found counselors, which I have no problem talking about. We have to, the more we speak, I say we, not just us three, but as veterans and men, the more we talk about how we do go see therapists or how we do go see psychiatrists to help us with all of these things that are going on. And maybe we'll start, ears will start listening, other men. We have no idea what people are going through. We don't. And we can't expect to be mind readers. It was about, I think, almost 4 years ago, 4 years ago, I had one of my Marines OD on drugs and kill himself, and that hit hard. And it was at that time that I decided I needed to find help and to get it out there and put my own feelings on a piece of paper. I sent it I was on a podcast. I sent my letter to a guy that I know that had a podcast, and he read my letter on his podcast, and he got many people responding back to him saying thank you. And I later followed that up with a podcast, being on there with him. But social media itself is a perfect place to get that stuff out there. Even if you don't share it, it stays just at you. I've made videos on TikTok that I've never posted, but I go back and watch them just because it helps me get those feelings out. We got to find ways to get this shit out and just not allow ourselves to get in our own way.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thrown back a little bit. I was a big fan of Twitch. I followed him and his wife Allison on TikTok and their 3 beautiful children. He was very happy. Ty was right. He posted, 48 hours? He posted the TikTok dancing, and he's a professional dancer. She was professional. But I think there's more to the story. I just pray for his family though. I really think that this happened to do with, he was still happy, but what happened was long story short, I did some research and it looks like he lost a lot of money to that FTX thing.
Oh, and God.
Millions of dollars was gone. I think over $3 million, according to the reporter, who should have waited in honesty to release it because of what his family's going through. But looks like he lost $3 million to that bullshit FTX crypto guy. And he couldn't deal with it. And happy one day. And, checked into the
if it was related to money, that's one of the top reasons why
number
Mhm.
one.
Suicide is 'cause of that.
Yeah, and you know, and you look at it, he had everything, right? And you know, I never make anything about color, but you know, when you look at the racism that he came up growing up, Twitch talked about it. Even when he worked at Ellen, all the stuff that he got as far as being a black DJ, a producer on her show. You know, Dancing with the Stars. What else was he on? So You Think He Can Dance? He was on all that, right? He was just bigger than life. He's such a good dude. But then you look at, maybe you start to unravel and you look at his life and you start to see that he struggled with depression. He was open about that. And so I think this financial thing was just the you know, the, what is it, the straw that broke the camel's back. And he just checked into an LA hotel, didn't take his car, which his wife said was not normal, called the LAPD. They went to the hotel, heard the gunshot, one single shot, according to the police, right? And walked in, and it was Stephen Ross's name, but Twitch, and 40 years old. I mean, he just turned 40, so I mean, we're not talking about an old guy.
Mhm.
And then for it to be finances, for him to kill himself like that, to leave your wife and children behind. Now think about it. You lost all that money, and now they're not going to get the life insurance because you killed yourself.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So I just pray for Allison and his 3 beautiful children, and I wish more people would stop putting rumors so we can get the truth of it. But it doesn't really matter if he killed himself or if someone else killed him, or
Right.
you know what I mean. At the end of the day, the wife, and the
Somebody lost
children.
a husband and a father.
That's right,
And
the
I
son.
didn't really appreciate that either. You know, it's a death of anybody is difficult, no matter who it is.
Yep.
But you know, people like to put these celebrities on blast, and
Yep,
Right.
they come up with their fucking
finance.
conspiracy theories and everything
Yep.
else. It's
Just let him.
regardless of what you think happened, a man is dead.
Yep.
Correct.
A father,
That's
a
right.
brother, you know, a husband, he's dead.
And especially we're
Regardless-
a week out from Christmas, and they ain't gonna have their dad there.
Right.
I mean,
And
I think that's, you know, with men, unfortunately, I think a lot of men, you know, I felt it myself, you know, when I finally got help. You know, I feel that there's a lot of pressure, or men feel a lot of pressure. Like they're supposed to be the supporters in the family. They're supposed to be the one your wife and kids look to for guidance, or for, you know, for whatever they need. And then you're always worried about, you know, taking care of your family and worrying about, okay, am I going to be able to pay the bills? Can I do this? Can I do that? Am I present? You know, all those kinds of things. And we kind of feel that pressure. And then it's like, it's hard for us because we feel like we got the weight on the world on our shoulders, and, you know, we don't know what to do. And then it's like, but I think for me, I mean, that's the only thing that keeps me here is my wife and kids. And I completely feel bad for him that, you know, that they're going to grow up without a father now. And it sucks. I mean, of course, I think a couple of years ago, like, you know, when Robin Williams passed away, that one hit me. And then when Chester Bennington passed away, that one hit me too, which I've watched some of the YouTube stuff that he's got, you know, talking about depression and everything, and he nails it on the head with some stuff. But, you know, he was kind of the same way that I think his wife has shared photos of the night before. He was happy they were playing games or whatever at their house, and then he was gone the next day. So it's like you just never know. And I think a lot of times, too, with this day and age of social media, it can be a double-edged sword where sometimes it's a good thing, and then sometimes it's a bad thing where you have trolls out there that are just disgusting human beings that take it too far a lot of times. But then it's good, you know, to connect or whatever with people as well. So I don't know, you know, I wish just more people would talk about things that's going on with them, reach out for help, and, you know, just be nice to everyone. You don't, like Ty said, you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't have to be an asshole to people. Be nice to them, do stuff for them. You know, I put a TikTok up a couple of weeks ago of just paying it forward to people, you know, doing something that nobody expects, and they just appreciate it. That, you know, a lot of people, you give them a kind word or a smile or whatever, and that means the world to them. It's just simple things like that.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, mental health is one of those tough ones. I know all of us struggle with PTSD. I was, it was hard for me when I got back many moons ago to come back and, look in the mirror and say, you need help, right? Because we got back, some of us, I definitely got back and just turned to the bottle, self-medicating. I was drinking, just being stupid, and, I just knew I had to get help. I didn't want to continue down that road. So, mental health is, it's one of those things that it's a stigma. I think it's more so for us men, though. I don't think mental health is looked upon in the same light when you talk about women, because at least from what I've seen, not so much in the military, but I'm just talking about in general. When we talk about mental health, when I say we, men, people are like, oh, well, men don't cry, which is bullshit, right? We have feelings too. I never understood that. Now, did I cry in country? No, not much. But did I want to break down and cry when, a lot of my brothers died in my arms, or I watched them, die? Yeah, but we didn't die. We didn't cry in country, right? So, but when we get back, then you're crying or you're trying to talk about it, and then have someone say, well, well, you should just talk about it. Just simple as that. Like Brad, like how you said it. Just call up your buddy. Just talk to him, no matter what time it is. Reach out. Check on each other. I know that we do what is it called, the 22. On the 22nd of each month, I try to reach out. I mean, I reach out usually more, but that would be a good start for a lot of the veteran community, to make sure that your brothers and sisters are doing okay. I don't think any of us are doing well at this time of the year. Holidays are tough for us combat vets. Winter time is very hard here in the Midwest. I guess they're in Virginia too. California didn't have that problem, but here you have it. You get cabin fever, right? It's cold as shit, snowing or whatever. So yeah, that affects your mental health. If we were all in sunny California and San Diego, living our best lives, smoking pot and being beach bums, we'd all be happy. But that's that's not the reality for us.
Get
right
some
now.
Maui Wowie.
Yeah, some Maui Wowie, some purple haze, So, but no, so yeah, so I mental health to me is very important. I'm glad that, I always see you wear that shirt, Brad. I like that shirt. Or anything that brings anything when it comes to mental health awareness, that we need to talk about it. It needs to be talked about. There needs to stop being a stigma, especially in the military community, veteran community. It doesn't mean you're weak at all. We're human beings. We break down. We have emotions. We cry. We yell. We scream. We hurt. We fight. This is all very normal, and so we just got to continue to talk about it. So,
Well, if there's any veterans out there that are watching or listening to this, I just know that there's somebody out there that's willing to listen. There's on the YouTube comments, you need help, just say it. I think all three of us here, sitting here talking about this would reach out to you and in a heartbeat. Anybody out there needing help and just needing an ear to listen, I promise I'm there for you. There's always somebody there. Don't ever think that you're alone, because you're not. I promise you're not.
that's right.
Yeah. And I think like when I post this, I'm going to put the number for the suicide hotline on there. And I think they also created the 988 text. It's the new communication system they have out there. So, forget people resources and everything. And, hopefully people will talk. I know I remember a couple of years ago right before I got out, I was on deployment we were out in Bahrain, and we had one of our Marines, he ended up killing himself while we were on deployment. And that hurt, because I was like, I'm right down the hall. We were all in the barracks living together, and I'm like, it hurt because, like, why didn't he come talk to me? That's what I'm there for as a corpsman, is to be there for you. And, and of course, as Marines, we're always going to be there for him too. So that one freaking hurt a lot. So, I hope the stigma starts getting broken and people start talking, and I know here in Virginia I think our governor is trying to pass some laws to help the crisis, that we have in our state. So hopefully other states will do the same to try to. I don't think our elected officials do enough to. I don't want to get political or anything, but do enough to, help with the mental health situation in America. I feel like if they did more with it, then maybe there'd be less problems. But who knows? That's the thing too. Like I said, you got people of all walks of life. I don't care what party you're affiliated with or whoever. We're all human. We're all affected by mental health, and just be there for one another. Be nice to one another. The other thing, like before we close out, I want to promote. Me and Travis were talking about this yesterday. We were texting. If you get a chance, download Morgan Wade's album "Reckless."
Yep.
I'm going to see her in freaking April because that chick is. Oh my god!
Is she going to be there?
She's going to be in Richmond, Virginia on April the 16th. But if you go on her website, you can check out tour dates and everything of what she's
coming to Chicago. I'm going to see her when she comes to Chicago. Yeah, I like her a lot.
Have you heard her at all, Ty?
I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
I probably heard her songs, but
She's going to start. She's not big yet, but she's going to start blowing up, though.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Like she's going to get. I
She's
would
really
think,
good.
like I said, like to Chris Stapleton big. Like she's going to get up there.
Yeah, she's going to be really big for sure.
Morgan Wade.
Yeah, Morgan.
Morgan, her album is Reckless. She's got a whole bunch of. That whole album from.
You don't have to hit next. You just hit
No.
play.
Like her song "Wilder Days," that's a good one. "The Night"
Don't
1
Don't
and 2 are good. That song "Don't Cry," I think did you check it out, Travis?
Yeah, I like that one. But my favorite is both of the nights, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Like, part 2 official. Yeah. So have you seen her video?
Is a good one.
She made the video for that one. So
What's that? Through Your Eyes?
no, for night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for late night, part 2. Yep.
She's like it. She's freaking phenomenal. So I'll put a plug in there for her. Go download her freaking album.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well, she's on. What is it?
I just
Spotify.
downloaded it.
Yep. Amazon Music. She's on.
Disappointed. That chick can sing.
Yeah,
It's
she's
funny
good.
you said start to finish. It was a good album. I saw a TikTok yesterday or today or whatever it was. Like they had a top 12 list of best albums out there from start to finish that you could start. So I was thinking about that stuff in my head. So it's funny that you brought that up.
I'll
Okay.
have to see where that's
Wait.
at.
Wait,
the
Ty,
album-
you're not going to bring it up. I want to hear some of yours. You're not just going to.
Oh, all right. So one of mine would be AC/DC Live.
Okay,
That whole
definitely-
album is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I use it to mow my lawn or working out. AC/DC Live is one of the best
I love
front
AC/DC.
to back
Yep.
best albums you could ever listen to. And then the other one I thought of was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side
Okay.
of the Moon.
There is not a single song in Dark Side of the Moon that you would want to skip past. Like the whole album, start to finish, is great.
So those are 2. So I would go more.
I was just kind of spitballing some ideas, but those are
Yeah.
the first 2 that came to mind.
Mine would be more hip hop.
Yeah.
So Brad, you go first. What would be your top 3 hip hop albums? Actual albums.
Well, you know where I'm going.
I remember my third one now.
Okay.
It was this would be number 1, and that's the Eagles' "Hell Freezes Over" album.
Okay,
When
because I
they
like.
when they all came back together to start the tour, like because they even said we never broke up, we just took a 15-year vacation.
Yeah, they never broke up, right? They were still doing their shit.
That's my top 3 right there.
Gotcha. Mine. So if I had to, man, that's so hard because I got like 4,000 damn songs on my damn playlist.
Yeah, but you can.
We're just talking about one album. Start
Yeah,
to
I
finish.
know.
And
It's
then
hard,
just-
like artist wise, like to just narrow it down. So if I had to,
I bet
I would
Three Doors Down is on that list. I bet Three Doors Down is on that list.
well, not on this one. They're good, but they're not on my top 3 list of albums that I could listen to front to back. I would say
Front to
number
back.
3 is probably, man, the Eminem Show.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be in there. Yep.
That's got to be on there. I'll go different. My genres of different for my rock would have to be Metallica's Black Album. That would be my rock front to back, and then my country front to back, besides Morgan Wade, would probably be Chris Stapleton's Traveler.
I like Chris.
Traveler was a great album.
Yeah, that album I could listen to.
His fucking voice doesn't even make sense.
I don't know how he wasn't discovered sooner than he was.
I know his shit, and he's been around for a long time. He just couldn't hit. I don't know how. I don't know how.
He's writing music for people.
I don't even like country like that. My three favorite country artists are in this order: Luke Combs,
Yep,
Wayne Brown, and Chris Stapleton. Those three for country, because I don't really fuck with country like you guys. But now hip hop. Okay, so we'll do my top three. So hip hop, it would be a toss up for me between Eminem, The Show, or Tupac, Machiavelli. That's probably be my top because West Coast is the best coast. Okay, number two, I'm going to switch the genre, so I'll go to rock. I'm a huge AC/DC fan, so that would be you could pick any of them for me, but AC/DC. I do like Pink Floyd too a lot, but they would finish second to me. And then we'll go to another really good album that people like kind of like forgot about. Not forgot about, but it's like, damn, that's good. I'm trying to think, like
for hip hop, The Chronic 2001.
The Chronic,
that album was
that
really
would be
good.
that's definitely top three, right? That was one of the best ever.
No, I'm saying The Chronic 2001, his second Chronic album. I thought that was one of the better albums. Like The Chronic is, a fucking masterpiece as it is, but like The Chronic 2001, when he came into that new age, if you want to call it.
Yeah, before Eminem. That was right when Eminem, remember? So
Yep.
yeah, that Chronic. The Chronic was that was what you hit play, you didn't hit next. Yeah. I also would put Nas up there. Illmatic, though. Illmatic was one of my favorites. I'm a huge. When you talk about lyricists, I think Nas is the best lyricist ever in hip hop. To me,
if I
fan of lyricists on another one, because we'll go take us forever.
I know we could do that one all
my
night.
honorable mention, and it was hard for me not to put this in there, but was Boyz II Men too. That's where they had all their hits coming into play.
Yeah, because Boyz II Men was.
Their two album was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'll Make Love to You, Down on Bended Knee, Water Runs Dry.
Water Runs Dry. They had so many.
All three of their major, like those three big hits came off of one fucking.
I know they tried to say that these Justin Timberlake, the 98 Degrees and NSYNC and all them were better than Boyz II Men. Bullshit.
No.
Miss me with that bullshit. It's not. No, Boyz II Men was the best boys group ever.
But you see, I never considered Boyz II Men a boy band though.
Well,
that's considered an R&B group.
Well, I know, but they were put in that genre though after all of them came out. But to me, they're the best. Then you can start
comparing New Kids on the Block and Boyz II Men. They're two different style of music.
Yeah,
totally different. Yeah, now
when you think boy band, you think pop.
Yeah,
I don't think R&B.
Yeah, 98 Degrees. What's it called? You said it. NSYNC. Those are boy bands.
Yeah,
and we're the R&B is like Jagged Edge. You remember
Jagged Edge?
Ty's favorite song, Stunner Shades.
112.
Yeah,
112.
Watson, you remember?
Room 112 album. Oh,
hey Watson, you remember at my wet down, you were dancing to the Stunner Shades. Oh my god.
I don't remember much from those, but
yeah, Watson,
I remember some of those.
Watson fucked me up that night. I couldn't walk the next morning. My shit was all good.
Do you remember Joe? My Name is Joe. That album
Joe,
was
yeah. And Avant? Remember Separated? Avant? Oh. Dude, we were bumping all that shit back then.
I think if I have to have an honorable mention of anything, and of course it's going to be Eminem again, is that Music to Be Murdered By.
Yeah, well,
Eminem
that's another. Eminem had those first 4 albums, remember? Just
my God.
Unreal.
Eminem.
4 albums in under 5 years. That's just unheard of.
Dude. Yeah. Like I said, we'll have to do lyricists on another video because we
go top 10 just with Eminem. With Eminem.
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me. That shows you how good he is.
Yep. Well, because we're at the 45-minute mark, so I know we weren't trying to keep it super long. So we'll pick it back up here in a couple of weeks because we had, Christmas next week. So maybe we'll try to do what's the week after? Is that that's 29th? So we'll shoot for
I'm good then. Yeah, next week. Yeah, let's just skip the 1 week and then come back. Yeah.
See you
Yeah.
guys in 2 weeks, man.
Yep.
All right. Y'all have a good
All right,
Christmas. If I don't talk to you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.